Yeah, ribose is amazing. Carnitine is amazing. Acetyl L-carnitine is amazing. Also, let's hit let's go up a little bit. I like that picture. There was a like a neurotransmitter picture there that you had. Maybe we should talk about that a little bit because it's not directly going to be a mitochondrial support. Yeah, right there. But I think that's cool to point out too, which is that if we are coming in with nutrients like phenylalanine or tyrosine, eventually some of that may convert over to your neurotransmitters, but then also your adrenal hormones like epinephrine. And I think a lot of people, and I know you see this too, a lot of people are showing up with just low brain chemistry across the board. And so I'm thinking out loud with you that like the real magic remedy is the mitochondrial support plus throwing in some of these neurotransmitter supports as well.
Well, and that's why we talked about B vitamins, and I kind of went through the gamut. Look how important B6 is in regarding the synthesis of tryptophan to serotonin. Really important. So you can see how B6 deficiency is really important in this process to convert this inflammatory product here, quinolinic acid, back to tryptophan. It needs B6. Or to avoid that whole thing, it needs B6. So that's really important. So B6 is really important for synthesis of amino acid tryptophan to serotonin. So very important.
And so, vegetarians, vegans, obviously, you're going to be at an increased risk of issues, and your recovery is not going to be as good as someone who's getting these good animal proteins because you're going to be getting adequate tryptophan and other nutrients from your animal based products. So, even if we could get these people on eggs, if we could get these people on organ capsules, if we could get these people on even like a protein, like I've got one we call carnivore collagen, which is a like a beef peptide. I mean, something you got to supplement at some level if you're not eating those foods. So please, if you're a vegetarian, vegan, and you're exhausted, then look at some of this, and hopefully we can convince you to change and improve your diet a bit.
Yep. No, I totally agree. I think that's really important. I want to see if there's anything else here I want to highlight. No, I think that's enough. That's powerful enough. Anything else you wanted to highlight there?
Well, we hit the urine, we hit the stool, looking at the gut. You showed the study about the gut changing. We've seen that. I mean, you and I were talking about that in March of 2020. I mean, that was almost 2 years ago. We were talking about the
Yeah.
gut being affected. And so obviously our message is the same that it's always been is get your stool looked at so we can see what kind of dysbiosis do you have going on. Because if you're taking all these supplements or you're doing all these good foods, but you've got malabsorption or you've got gut inflammation, you're not going to, people say you are what you eat, but you really are what you digest from what you eat. So if you have all these other issues in your gut, the grass fed steak is not going to be as valuable to you. Now, I'm not saying stop eating it. I'm saying still eat it, but we've got to improve the digestion and assimilation of that.
110%. And one thing here, I just want to highlight here, just to kind of this article, it's talking about mitochondrial function and infections in the gut, because we're talking about mitochondrial and energy post illness. That could be a viral illness. It could also be a gut illness, right? Because it's talking right here, even virus have dedicated virulence factors and talks about downstream of an infection. It's fascinating that a plethora of immune responses, but be it against viruses, bacteria, or LPS. LPS is lipopolysaccharides or endotoxin. This can come from H. pylori. This can come from SIBO or dysbiotic bacteria. And they strongly impact the mitochondria, which is really, really important because they're toxic. They kind of throw a monkey wrench in how the FADH and the NAD is kind of moving around the Krebs cycle, collecting hydrogens and then bringing it into the electron transport chain. And it talks about governed by the mitochondria, can be translated into active therapeutics to boost immunity against pathogens to overt immune responses under control in the case of inflammatory disorders. So essentially, the more you have these infections there, the more inflammation your immune system creates. The more inflammation your immune system creates, that can actually impact your mitochondria. Again, when you have a lot of these illnesses, it's not just the stress from the illness, it's the immune response from your own immune system that creates inflammation that can actually disrupt your energy pathway. So sometimes you're just fighting against yourself. And so using nutrients to help modulate the immune response, i.e. glutathione, vitamin D, vitamin C, right? Really important nutrients there. I'd also say you can do things like curcumin or resveratrol as well, can have immune modulating effects. These are powerful. So it's good to kind of get your immune system in check. Most people that are having longer term, we call it kind of long haulers type issue, it's typically their immune system has over responded and it's just creating so much inflammation. So here, this illness, they're no longer testing positive for whatever this illness is, and they're prolonged 2-3 months out, and they're feeling like crap still. It's because they really didn't get their immune system's inflammatory cascade in check afterwards.
Yeah, well said. So, a couple comments. Number one, you can improve your energy by simply fixing your gut. And that's exactly what that data is showing. And that's exactly what you and I have seen and done clinically hundreds and hundreds of times. People that were exhausted coming in, we give them a gut protocol, sometimes not even giving them energy supplements because on paper they look good. And all of a sudden their energy level doubles. And all we did is fix their gut. So, that's number one comment. And then the number two comment is that people need to stop waiting for some illness like this to take them down before they take this stuff serious. I mean, you and I are all about preventative approaches, meaning getting your mitochondria, your gut, your brain chemistry, getting all that stuff optimized now so that you're a warrior on a daily basis. So that when you do come across something like this, and there probably will be more things like this that you do get exposed to, you're ready and you're able to handle it. And you're not coming in so sick and looking for this emergency therapy at the end stage. It's some cases it's too late. I think a lot of times you can turn it around, but you should have been working on your health years ago before you got to this stage.
Yeah, and a lot of it is, anytime you have some type of illness coming up, the more you can be on top of a lot of these key immune modulating anti-inflammatory nutrients ahead of time and or during versus just coming in at the end when the inflammation's super high. It's like coming in when the fire is a little baby fire and knocking it out versus having a full 5 alarm fire and trying to stop it, right? That's kind of the analogy. So I always recommend telling people have a couple of nutrients. You may not be taking it every day, but they in your medicine cabinet is kind of like a last ditch kind of effort to kind of come in there if you start to feel a little bit ill. So in my line, we have Immuno Supreme, which is nice because you have some green tea in there, you have some echinacea, you have some medicinal mushrooms, you have some antioxidants and some immune modulators. That's kind of cool. Have that in your medicine cabinet. You start to feel the tiniest thing, start taking that to get that immune system. Obviously, you can ratchet up vitamin D, vitamin C. These are easy first line things. If you have any NAC or glutathione, we can ratchet that up. These are easy things that we can do to kind of take charge of our health and prevent our immune system from throwing us off.
Yep, well said. And if you need help clinically, we do offer one-on-one consults around the world with people. So we're very blessed to be able to help so many people by getting the proper testing done, making the proper protocols to get you better. So if you don't test, you've guessed, you got to see what you're up against first. Look at your B's, look at your gut. Once we get the data, we can help you more accurately, and you're going to save a lot more money, a lot more time, and a lot more suffering. And you're going to get out of the dumps, out of the trenches, out of the depths of hell, depression, whatever you're dealing with. You're going to get out of that faster if you're using clinical data and you have a tour guide to your body. So if you need help clinically, you can reach out to Dr. J at justinhealth.com for consults worldwide, or me, Evan Brand, at evanbrand.com. And we're here for you guys. So we look forward to helping you out.
100%. I appreciate it. Yeah. Anyone that wants to reach out, Evan already gave you the links. Really appreciate it. Comments down below. Really appreciate your feedback on that. And also, we put links down below with some products that we chatted about. We have different ones that we recommend in our line. Just whatever you go, make sure you get them from a professional grade company because raw material does matter in the supplement world. You can buy, the equivalent of the grass-fed steak from the local farmer, or you can get it from McDonald's, right? And so we want to get the high-quality raw material that's tested to make sure there's no impurities, and just the building blocks are excellent. Evan, excellent chatting with you, man. Really appreciate it. Guys, have an awesome week, and we'll talk soon. Take care, y'all.
Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.